I've been living at the Abbey for around 5 months now, and I'd like to share some part of how my experience has been. And a big part of my motivation for doing this is to encourage others who maybe are like me, have some time in their lives, to do a long-term visit too, because I found it incredibly beneficial. So I'll start with a little background on myself. I grew up in the Bay Area, and I've been seriously practicing for about 2 years. And I first heard about the Abbey on YouTube about a year and a half ago. A BBC by one of the monastics showed up on my homepage. And so, I clicked on it. It looked interesting. I clicked on it, and I thought, wow, this person's really well spoken. This is a really great talk. And so I watched a few more, and I thought, yeah, all of these are very consistent. And then I watched a teaching by Venerable Chodron, one of the Samsara, Nirvana, and Buddha Nature teachings, and I thought, not for me. But clearly I came back. Yeah. And her teaching style has really grown on me. Yeah. So I decided to visit for the winter retreat. And I'm really glad I did, because that was a great retreat. And it clarified a lot of things about Buddhist practice for me, and how the more I engage in Buddhist practice, really the more benefit I get out of it. And then after I left the retreat, some circumstances in my life changed. Notably, my relationship ended. And so I sort of wanted to shift my life to where I was really centered on Dharma practice. And so I decided to finish off the semester of classes I was taking and then come back for a longer stay. So one of the things about living at the Abbey that quickly stood out to me is that there aren't really any best friends. There's sort of an equal share of care extended to each community member and guest. There aren't really any cliques. There aren't really any in-groups and out-groups. And it creates a really great environment. It brings a real feeling of safety. No matter who's your offering service coordinator or who you're sitting at the lunch table with, it's just you can feel comfortable knowing that they're going to be open-hearted and easy to talk to. One of the guests who came here said it was like having a bunch of older brothers. I think this is true. And then one of the monastics said it was like having a bunch of moms. So, so somewhere in between that. And I think these two analogies also carry with it the sense that these monastics are really role models. They really embody their Dharma practice, and it's great to exchange, thoughts on the teachings and practice tips, and just, discuss philosophy. It's just so great having really committed Dharma practitioners, living in a community of committed Dharma practitioners. And it's also really nice to have a teacher who's really present in the community and who makes herself very available for questions and advice. Living here, I really got the sense that Venerable Chodron was looking out for me. And it was much different than, my relationship with Venerable Chodron was much different than when I was watching her teachings online. It's much more, two-sided, you could say. Probably the most obvious and greatest benefit of living here is having a really consistent environment in which to practice. I found that each month I was able to push my practice a little further, expand my aspiration to benefit sentient beings. And it's like my best. The entire time I was trying my best, but my best now is so much better than it was when I first came. And I have such a more clear picture of what I can actually do with a precious human birth. Another benefit is that living here, I met so many people from all different walks of life. And they were really intelligent, kind-hearted people with unique perspectives they brought to the world. Honestly, I think I've met more people living here than I've met during 2 years of college. And one of the magical things about this place is that people actually talk about things which are important to them, which is very unlike college. And so I really appreciated that. All this being said, I think it's important to mention that what made living at the Abbey so great was my practice. The Abbey is still in samsara, and I think if I wasn't strongly oriented towards practice, I would have had a really hard time living here. But because I was oriented towards Dharma practice, there has not been a single day in the past 5 months I regret. So that has been a small piece of my experience living at the Abbey. And so for closing, I thought I would ask a few monastics what their experience of me living at the Abbey was. So Venerable Pema says, when she first met me the week before winter retreat, she thought I was full of myself. I think that's probably true. But now she says, I am a delight. So there you go. And Venerable Rinchen says that I was very consistent and methodical in my study. And I think this is actually, a big part of this is due to the Abbey schedule, which is really supportive of that balance. She also said, I meshed well into the community. Venerable Pelge says, I wish you could stay for longer. I need someone to trigger my mind. And I think she's referring to the philosophical discussions and the debate we would do, which was a lot of fun. It was really great. She also said it was like having another younger brother. And Shane says, the irritations really helped me work on my eye. So thank you, Shane. So hopefully I've said something that nudged you in the direction of having a longer stay at the Abbey. And if visiting the Abbey long term is not possible for right now, I hope I have helped to plant some sort of virtuous seeds in your mind that will come to ripen in the future.